Welcome to your coverage of Missoula's sports heroes. You're tuned in to the Missoula Prep Sports Network live stream of local sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen.
This presentation of Missoula Sports is proudly powered by Fuel Fitness, the only gym from Montana for Montana.
Check it out.
MPSN is your leader in Missoula's prep sports.
Woo!
We now take you to the action on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Everybody hustles out there, okay, guys? Nobody quits.
Hello, folks, and welcome into the Missoula MPSN's coverage of Missoula Mavericks baseball as the Mavericks will play Game 9 of the tournament, Game number 2 on the day for the 2019 Maverick Memorial Tournament with the Central Washington Spuds taking on the Missoula Mavericks as we get set for our first pitch. Few minutes behind as our last game would go 8 innings, with the Lewis and Clark Twins getting the 5-4 win over the Walla Walla Bears. The first loss of the tournament for the Bears, so they are 3-1 on the tournament and are sitting well for that number 1 seed going in to tomorrow for our seeding. Central Washington taking on the Mavericks are 0-3 on the tournament. And then we will have Centralia taking on the Mavericks in our 7 o'clock game with Centralia at 1-2. The Missoula Mavericks are 1-1 after a win last night over the Twins and an opening loss to the Bears. So that's how the records look so far as we have the seeding games on tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineups for both sides, starting out with the Central Washington Spuds. It'll be Eben Carmona to lead off, the center fielder. Braden Padilla will be in left field, batting second. Batting third is Wade Visker at second base. Caden Vasquez is the first baseman, batting fourth. Malik Hathaway is the catcher, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Radley Greer, the third baseman. Jet Nelson's the shortstop, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Carson Carlos. He is the designated hitter. And Camden Kuykendall is the right fielder, finishing it out with Andrew Fry. The first pitch of the game is tossed in at 5:12, and we've got a game time temp of 70 degrees. Parker Stevens on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound, and he'll make it a 1-1 count to Carmona. And it comes back inside for ball 1 to Carmona. Now for the Mavericks, it's Brendan Hill in center field leading off as Parker Stevens will have the pitch. And a roller out, Stuart Long with the pickup at short, the throw to first. Hangus sticks the bag, and that is the first out of the game.
The left fielder, number 22, Braden Padilla.
That brings us to Braden Padilla with 1 out and nobody on. Dane Frazier's in right field, batting second. Batting third is Terad Richardson, the third baseman. Stuart Long is the shortstop. We mentioned that a moment ago with his play as the pitch comes in for ball 1 from Stevens. Bridger Johnson in left field, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Drew Stenzer, the designated hitter. This one's punched upstairs. Clausen says he's got it, and Clausen will put a glove around it for out number 2. And we'll come to, well, they're not going to say that he didn't bring it in, so we'll be 1-1 on the count. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and Padilla will take it down the line to third. Richardson with the throw to first, and that will be out number 2 now.
Second baseman, number 2, Wade Visker.
Good boy, Parker.
So it takes us to Wade Visker, the number 3 spot. Zach Angus is at first, batting 7th. And Andrew Clausen behind the plate at catcher, batting 8th, and Dayton Bay, the second baseman, to round out the order with Parker Stevens on the 5 Valley Idol pitcher's mound. 2 outs. Top of the first inning. And this one sent foul up over our heads for strike 1. Stevens now with the nod. And the pitch outside. Makes it 2-1 on the count. So Parker Stevens, one of the veterans for this Maverick pitching staff, as this brings up ball 3. Stevens was limited last year in his pitching, as he did pick up an injury part of the way through the season and had to lay off, as a walk will put a runner on for the Spuds with 2 outs. But over the winter, talking to some of the players and parents while the players were in the indoor facility, as Caden Vasquez settles into the box, Parker had the hot hand from the pitcher's mound, as this one's fouled back for strike 1. So Parker Stevens, he's a 6'3", 180-pound right-handed pitcher for the Mavericks, graduate of Sentinel High School this year, as he'll have the pitch. And we get a ball for a even count at 1. Klein Voorhees is our plate umpire, with Mike Hughes in the field. Here's a crank into right field. Frazier will have to backpedal, and it's in the glove to end the side. 1 left behind, no runs. And we go to the bottom of the first, where the Mavericks will get to bat right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
When your workout window is small, you don't want to travel far, wait for parking, and hope for an open machine. Let Fuel Fitness and Nutrition ignite your life with no waiting. Fuel has plentiful parking and 30,000 square feet of weight and cardio training equipment. When you want it, you'll get it at Fuel. Businesses, don't hesitate to sign up with Fuel. We have enough parking and equipment to handle your entire staff and 24/7 access, so they can get in shape around work schedules. Ignite your life with no waiting at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition in the Holiday Village Shopping Center.
MPSN is back to live stream the Montana Legion Baseball AA and State A tournaments this summer. Join us live from Billings, Montana for the State AA tournament and Florence, Montana for the State A tournaments, July 27th through the 31st, for all the play-by-play action of every game. If you know of a local business in your community that would like to sponsor the coverage of the games on MPSN, please send us an email. MPSN. Legion Baseball's home for the 2019 Montana State Legion Baseball tournaments.
Welcome back to MPSN, as we have the bottom of the first inning, where the Missoula Mavericks will get their first chance to bat on the game between the Spuds and the Mavericks. Score is Goose Eggs after 1 inning of play. It's Andrew Fry on the 5 Valley Idol pitcher's mound for Central Washington, and he's throwing to Malik Hathaway behind the plate. The Mavericks will have Brendan Hill lead off. Dane Frazier's in the on deck, and Trad Richardson goes to the hole. So the Mavericks 1-1. They have their doubleheader day today, as they will have Centralia Washington in the game after this one at 7:30 today. And then tomorrow is Seeding Sunday, as 4 and 5 will play at 10 o'clock. 3 and 2 will play at 12:30. The winner of that game will play in the championship game against the number 1 seed team at 3. So we get the center fielder, Brendan Hill, to the plate to lead off for the Mavericks. Mavericks will finish out their play here this weekend, and then it's on the road. Here's Fry with his first pitch of the game, and Hill will have this one bounced off the bat. Second baseman comes up to throw to first, and it's going to be a punch out at first.
Right fielder number 7, Dane Frazier.
And that's one away for the Mavericks as Dane Frazier comes to the plate with one out, nobody on. So the Mavericks take to the road this week as they'll have a doubleheader in Billings against the Royals on Wednesday night and then a single game Thursday night against the Royals, as this one's upstairs to Frazier for ball one. And then it's a travel day on Friday, and then the Firecracker Classic from Rapid City, South Dakota, as we get another one upstairs to Frazier for 2-0 on the count. Trad Richardson in the on-deck circle. Here's Fry now with the pitch. And it's going to come inside. We get ball three as Hathaway not able to hold on to it. And then the Mavericks will have home games the 8th and 9th against the Scarlets and the Helena Senators back on the road. Frazier gets walked to have a runner on for the Mavericks with one out.
Third baseman number 13, Trad Richardson.
Brings up Trad Richardson with one out, one on. The first three in the lineup for the Mavericks, as this one comes upstairs, are part of the home run club for the Mavericks. Brendan Hill, the leadoff batter, he's got an in-the-park home run. He's probably the speediest young man on the field this weekend, period. Dane Frazier has two, and Trad Richardson with one. Richardson and Frazier would pick up their home runs the same night against the Bitterroot Red Sox. Here's the pitch upstairs, and we get ball two. 2-0 on the count to Richardson. Here's the pitch by Fry. And that one finds the plate as Voorhees will bark out strike one. 3-1. Looking for our first hit of the game. Throw back to first, the tag, and they're going to say that Frazier jumped back in. Hughes says that he was there ahead of the ball. 2-1. Fry with the stretch and set. And it'll be as Frazier and the shortstop will collide at second. It's a stolen base for the right fielder as we get a strike pitch to make it 2-2 on the count. So Richardson will settle in. It's Stuart Long in the on-deck circle as Fry will deliver, and it's upstairs to build to a full count at 3-2.
Let's go. You decided right here.
Three and two, payoff pitch, and Richardson will send it in the gap. Frazier is going to be waved around. He'll grab a gear at third and make his way home as Richardson will hold up at first, and the Mavericks have the first hit and run of the game.
The shortstop number 2, Stuart Long.
So we go to Stuart Long now, the shortstop for the Mavericks, with one out, one on, and one run earned here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch, low for ball one. Fry now checking Richardson at first. Here's the pitch to Long, and Long's going to bounce this one foul down the third base line to bring up strike one. 1-1 on the count. Strike two, okay, 0-2. Fry now gets the pitch from Hathaway, and now the pitch. And we'll have ball one now. So now we have ball one, 1-2 on the count. Long settling back in. Long doing a good job out there at shortstop. It was rough for him to start out with at the shortstop position. As he punches this one high over short. Shortstop backpedals into the field, and a little confusion, but the ball's held on to. And that'll be out number 2.
The left fielder, number 10, Bridger Johnson.
Brings up Bridger Johnson now for the Mavericks with 1 on and 2 outs. Bottom of the first, Mavericks lead 1-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Here's Fry now with the stretch and set. And a low pitch for ball 1 to Johnson. The Mavericks going on the road this week are conference competitors. The Helena Senators and Bozeman Bucks are at the Omaha tournament this weekend. And this one bounces down the third base line. It'll be fair. Johnson with the run, and he'll beat the ball. And runners at first and second for the Mavericks now.
The designated hitter, number 5.
Richardson standing at second and Johnson at first as the designated hitter, Drew Stensrud, comes to the plate. So the Mavericks moving to their number 6 spot batter here in the bottom of the first inning. Pitch on the way, and that one's going to tag Stensrud. So loaded bases with 2 outs for the Mavericks as the first baseman, Zach Hengus, comes to the plate.
Number 11, Zach Hengus.
So Hengus to settle in with an opportunity here with loaded bases and 2 outs. Here's the stretch and set by Fry. And Voorhees will say strike 1. Voorhees with a slightly delayed, he'll bark out the call on the pitch and then hesitates when it is a strike before he raises his fist. This one goes outside to even us out at 1 apiece. Loaded bases. Stensrud at first off the hit by pitch. Bridger Johnson. And this one comes off of the catcher's glove. That will bring Richardson home as runners advance on the wild pitch. And the Mavs will jump ahead 2-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard off of the wild pitch. Mavericks with a good game last night against the Twins, 12-4. The first 2 innings, the Mavs would bat around as Hengus will take a swing for strike 2. Runners at second and third. 2-2. Pitch on the way. Swung on, and Hengus will be struck out to end the side, leaving 2 behind. But the Mavericks will earn 2, and it's 2-0 going into the top of the second. We'll be back right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Warning, warning. Fast Trip Conoco and Magic Touch Car Wash are at it again. They've taken what was already the best wash in town, the best value in town, and made it even better. Now, whenever you gas up your rig at Fast Trip Conoco, you can clean it up for half price. Yeah, you heard that right. When you fuel up your car at Fast Trip Conoco, you can get any wash at Magic Touch Car Wash for half price.
Warning, warning. This is not a drill.
It's the Gas It Up, Clean It Up special at Fast Trip Conoco and Magic Touch Car Wash on reserve across from Larchmont.
Half-price wash only valid when purchased at the pump or in Fast Trip Conoco.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton at Lindbergh Craig Field. Missoula Mavericks hosting the Central Washington Spuds for game number 8 of the 2019 Maverick Memorial Tournament. Memorial Tournament where they do remember former players that have passed on. Tanner Collier, Scott Cloud, and Patrick Guffey, the young men that they are honoring this year. For the game, we get back in with the Mavericks leading 2-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. It will be Malik Hathaway to lead off. Parker Stevens with the first pitch of the inning, and he'll deliver outside for ball 1. Stevens will deliver, and we'll go to ball 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on for strike 1, 2-1 on the count. So as I mentioned, Parker Stevens, graduate of Sentinel High School, pitcher and outfielder, as he's had time in both right and left field this year. This one's going to be hopped shallow, and it will be in the glove of Dayton Bay for the first out of the inning.
The third baseman, number 15, Radley Greer.
Takes us to Radley Greer with 1 out, nobody on. So Greer to settle in, and he'll wait for his first pitch of the game. Stevens will deliver, and it'll be ball 1. So Stevens, this is his second season with the Mavericks at the AA level, played 1 year with the A level. As this one's delivered over the plate for strike 1. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and Greer thought about it, but held the bat back, and we'll go to 2-1 on the count. Stevens, multi-sport athlete, as he plays football as well, was part of that Sentinel Spartan wide receiving corps for the past 4 years. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and he'll be outside. It's a walk to put a runner at first with 1 out for the Spuds. There's the little bat boy for Central Washington, as Jet Nelson and the first pitch to Nelson will be ball 1 to Parker Stevens. Stevens, an Orioles fan. Hobbies include fishing. As we come to ball 2, 2-0 on the count. And Stevens now waits for Nelson to settle back in. It's Greer at first with 1 out. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and that will slide over the plate to get Stevens into the count at 2-1. Favorite movie for Parker is Rudy, and he's a Spider-Man superhero fan. Here's the pitch. Runner's going to go, and this is going to be a throw to second, and not able to hold on to it is Bay, and it's a free base. And waiting to see what they're going to call that pitch. They are going to say that is ball 3. So 3-1 to Nelson. Here's Stevens with the pitch. Swung on. This one's punched up high over short. Long is back, but called off by Johnson. It's gloved up, and that's 2 outs now. Takes us to Carson Carlos, the designated hitter, with 2 outs. As Carlos settles in. Stevens now. Runner at second. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. 1-0 on the count as Carlos settles back in. Number 8 spot batter for the Spuds. And Carlos will be patient as Stevens delivers over the plate for strike one. Favorite thing that Mom makes for Parker is a grilled cheese sandwich. And his favorite memory with Dad is any chance they get to go fishing. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and we'll have strike two. 2 outs. Runner at second in Greer. 1-2 on the count to Carlos. Here's the pitch by Stevens. Swung on, and a foul ball that jets back at us will keep us at 1-2. Here's the pitch by Stevens. And Carlos will lift this one high. It's going to be foul and out of play as it's going to bounce off of the netting. And we'll stay at 1-2 as Carson Carlos continues to battle. I asked Parker Stevens what his future goals are. He said he wants to inspire others. That's awesome. Best advice his dad ever gave him is to believe in himself. Here's the 1-2. And Carlos will continue to battle as we bring up the foul ball. 1-2 on the count. Thing that Parker's going to remember the most about playing high school sports is the long bus rides with some of his best friends, as it's upstairs for ball 2 to even us out at 2 apiece. Parker's got a younger brother that plays for the Mavs A squad. And as we get the pitch on the 2-2, this one's lifted high. And Hill's going to come up and grab it, and that'll be the end of the side. We'll get to Parker Stevens' advice to his younger brother right after this as the Mavericks hold on 2-0 with a runner left behind. We'll be back right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 55 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
Coming this summer, Milk Crate Media 406 will be the home to a new group of local podcasts to highlight our great state of Montana and the people within it. Starting with a local show to promote Missoula sports athletes. Next, a podcast that will take a look at world views. Then a show that will entertain you while informing you about Montana's great outdoors. And finally, a podcast that will take a look at the people and places that make Montana great. Stop by mcratemedia.com to see the full line of new podcasts.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. It is the bottom of the second inning. Mavericks lead 2-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard over the Central Washington Spuds. Bottom of the order, that's right. Andrew Clausen, the number 8 spot batter, to lead off for the Mavericks, with Dayton Bay, the bottom of the order, in the on-deck circle. Here is Andrew Fry's first pitch of the inning. And Clausen will roll this one out, picked up by the shortstop. The throw to first is bounced in and not held on to, and Andrew Clausen's going to reach off the air.
Second baseman number 1, Dayton Bay.
Brings up Dayton Bay, the bottom of the order for the Mavericks. Day-Day, the bunt killer. Fry now with the stretch and set. Showing bunt, throw down. Clausen gets back in time, and we'll have ball 1. Dayton Bay, I've taken a shine to this young man after, he's been growing on me, but after last weekend with his plate appearances, some beautiful bunts, and some speedy work on the bases. As this one's delivered in for strike one to make it an even count at 1 apiece. Bay settling back in. He's the second baseman and has been playing well over there at second. It's been a switch between him and Martin as this one's going to be rolled out. Third baseman bobbles it. He'll make the throw, but Bay is going to make it to first. And that'll be runners at first and second as the top of the order comes up. Dax, how are they scoring that? Error? Okay. So it will be scored as an error on the shortstop. The third baseman. So an error on the third baseman. As Brendan Hill comes to the plate. And we'll have ball one to Brendan Hill. So Brendan Hill ground out his first at bat. He's got runners at first and second with no outs. And Hill will knock this one foul to make it even at 1 apiece on the count. Fry with the stretch and set. Bunt by Hill will bring up strike two on the foul bounce. 1-2. And Hill will come back down the line. As I mentioned, in the bottom of the first inning, are the Mavericks' first three batters are part of the home run club, and Hill with the in the park home run. Speedy little guy. Here's the 1-2 to Hill. And swung on, and Hill will be struck out swinging for the first out of the inning.
Frazier.
Brings us to Dane Frazier, who's been hanging out in right field lately. Made his name at first the last 2 seasons for the Mavericks, and with guys like Stensrud and Hangus coming up, well, Dane gets to have a little freedom on where he wants to play as he sends this one foul for strike one. So 0-1 on the count. Frazier settling in. He had a walk his first at bat. He's facing 0-1 off the foul ball. And a swing for strike two, 0-2. Dane has been the heavy bat for the Mavericks this year, though. He has come off of surgery last fall and has looked extremely impressive both at the plate and on the defensive side of the field. As we go upstairs for ball one to make it 1-2 on the count. Frazier settles back in. And the pitch by Fry. And Frazier bounces this one to the third baseman. He can't hold on to it, and that will load the bases up. And that one will be scored as a hit for the Mavericks, as it was hit hard at the third baseman. He did the best he could out there, but the way Frazier's hitting right now, the ball coming off the bat in a zinging pace. Takes us to Trad Richardson with 1 out and loaded bases for the Mavericks. Missoula leading 2-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Here's the pitch, and inside. Richardson thought about taking a slice, but pulled the bat back. And we go 1-0 on the count. So Dane Frazier at first, Dayton Bay at second, and Andrew Clausen at third as this one's fouled back to bring us to 1-1 on the count. Fry now with the stretch and set. And Richardson will be hit in the shoulder. Loaded bases, no way to put him. So Andrew Clausen will come home for the Mavericks to earn a run off the hit by pitch.
Number 2, Stuart Long.
So we go to Stuart Long, and that's going to bring out the manager for the Spuds. And folks, we're happy to announce that this year Missoula Prep Sports Network will be covering MCPS football, basketball, and softball in 2019 and 2020. So we'll have coverage of Loyola football as well as Hellgate Sentinel and Big Sky football this fall. Looking forward to covering our 4 schools and working Valley Christian in as well along the way. Conference broken up by Klein Voorhees. And Hathaway will come back in and settle behind the plate. Stuart Long, the shortstop for the Mavericks, with loaded bases and 1 out. And Long rolls this one into the hole, into left field. Bay will score. Frazier on his way home, and Dane Frazier will earn a second run on the inning, or the 3rd run on the inning for the Mavericks to make it
Number 10, Bridger Johnson.
4-1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard as Bridger Johnson comes to the plate. Takes us to Bridger Johnson with runners at first and second and 1 out. Pitch on the way. And I'm off on my score for the Mavericks, 5-1. And I pushed the wrong buttons there, so it's 5-0 Mavericks on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Here's a pitch inside. Makes it 2-0 to Johnson. And we'll have strike 1 to the left fielder. Bridger's been a good one to have with the Mavericks as he has played stellar outfield, both in center when Hill is on the mound as it comes inside for ball 1, and then hanging out in left field as well. So 3-1 on the count to Johnson, who singled his first at bat. Long at first, Richardson at second, and this one's going to be a check swing that's going to dribble down the line. Picked up by Fry, the toss to first, and that one will be out number 2. The check swing almost acts like it's a bunt, advancing the runners to second and third. And with 2 outs on the board, we go to the designated hitter, Drew Stensrud. Here's the pitch by Fry. And Voorhees will call strike on the first pitch. Stensrud hit by a pitch his first at bat as he settles back in. 0-1 on the count. And Fry will deliver outside to even us out at 1 apiece. One and 1 on the count. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Here's Fry with the delivery. And this one's going to be foul, bringing up strike 2 to Stensrud. 1-2 on the count. It's the first baseman in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks, Zach Hengis. Stensrud settling back in. Fry with the stretch. And Stensrud finds another hole as Richardson will come home. They wave around Stewie, and Stuart Long will score as Stensrud stands up at second on the roller that went deep into left field. And that'll take us to Zach Hengis. with Stensrud at second. Hangus struck out his first at-bat as the first pitch is delivered inside for ball one to Hangus. Hangus has been a fun one to watch this year, coming up from the A squad, first year at the AA level, as this one comes up for ball two. 2-0 on the count. He caught my eye last year for the A squad as he was doing some pitching on a day that I was here for the A game, as this one's foul back to bring up strike one. And two and one on the count to Hangus. And then this year he came in and was impressive from the pitcher's mound as a 3-1 count is presented to Hangus. Here's the pitch, and Hangus punches this one high, foul, and we go to a full count at 3-2. And during the Memorial Weekend tournament for the Mavericks, he would open up against Vauxhall, who is a very polished baseball team, and Hangus will be walked to put runners at first and second for the Mavericks with 2 outs. Brings up the catcher, Andrew Clausen, now for the Mavericks, but Hangus, I saw him the next day after that game where he got roughed up by Vauxhall, who is a very, very good team on both sides of the plate, and he had high spirits. He said, "Chris, I just got to do what I can and make the best of it when they get the opportunity." Clausen will have a ball on the first pitch to him. Oh no, they're going to call that a strike. I apologize. Here's the pitch, and Clausen off the end of the bat. Second baseman will track it down. The throw to first is on target, and that will end the side. The Mavericks earn 5 runs. They leave 2 behind, and they lead 7-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Top of the third right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
If you're looking to upgrade your car, stop by 5 Valley Auto Sales. From the moment you walk through the door, you'll be in for the best car buying experience ever. From their large inventory to their experienced staff, 5 Valley Auto Sales is committed to helping you find the right car for you. View their featured vehicles online at www.5valleyautosales.com or stop by their location at 3300 South Reserve Street in Missoula. 5 Valley Auto Sales is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on MPSN.
Stitches of Missoula is your resource for embroidery and screen printing. Give Stitches a call today at 406-529-2632 to speak with their super friendly staff and have them take care of your embroidery needs. From business logos to team jerseys, Stitches Embroidery can help you and your team look good. Check them out online at stitchesmontana.com to see their full line of silkscreen and embroidery options. Stitches is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton for the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Top of the third inning, Mavericks lead 7-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard with Parker Stevens on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound warming up. Mavericks giving Parker a pillow here as he sets on the rubber for the Mavericks. It is the bottom of the order for Central Washington as Camden Kuykendall will lead off the inning. So 9-1-2 on the order. First pitch to Kuykendall will be outside on the left-handed batter for ball one. Stevens delivers, and it's a roller. Bay will pick it up in the dirt. The throw to first, and that's one away off of 2 pitches.
Number 34, Eben Carmona.
Swings us to the top of the order for the Spuds to Eben Carmona, the center fielder. Here's the stretch and set by Stevens. And it does have contact. Regardless, it's going to be strike one on the foul ball as it'll hop over Klein Voorhees' head here, the plate umpire. Stevens with the stretch and set. And Voorhees will bark out strike for strike 2. Got to pay attention with Voorhees. You listen for his call. Don't go off his arm motion, as this one's high for ball 1. As Voorhees has a hesitation to bring that fist up for the strike call. So kind of learn umpire tendencies as you work your way through here. This one swung on. It will be fouled back off the helmet of Clausen and will be at 1-2 on the foul tip. Here's the pitch by Stevens. And this one's off the middle of the bat. It had a thud to it. Richardson will have the throw to first, and that's 2 away for the Spuds.
Number 22, Braden Padilla.
Brings up Braden Padilla for the Spuds with 2 out, nobody on, and the young bat boy will trot back to the dugout. Getting them involved young, folks. That's what you got to do. And it's over the plate. Nope, they're going to say ball 1. They're going to say ball 1 on it. And bouncer down the third base line will be fouled to go 1-1 on the count. Stevens now with the stretch and set. And Voorhees will give us the phone book tear to end the side on the strikeout. We go to the bottom of the third. Mavericks 7, Spuds 0. Back after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Do you have a property you'd like to sell? Maybe you're looking for a new place to call your own. Well, you're in luck because the Kelly Touch is the local realtor for you. Whether small or large, the Kelly Touch would love to help you find your piece of Montana to call home. From Kalispell to Florence, the Kelly Touch has the experience to help you buy or sell property throughout western Montana. The Kelly Touch, your professional real estate needs met. The Kelly Touch is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network as we've got the bottom of the third inning. Missoula Mavericks leading the Central Washington Spuds 7-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. For the Mavericks, it's the bottom of the order. Dayton Bay to lead off, so 9-1-2 on the schedule with Andrew Fry on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound for his third inning of duty. So Bay settles in. He reached off an error his first at-bat. Looking to go to work once again. Here's the pitch. And it'll be outside for ball 1. And we've got 1-1 on the count. As this one's in the third base line, foul, and we'll have a strike 2. So 1-2 on the count. So 2-2 on the count to Bay as we bring up ball 3. 3-2 on the count. Dayton Bay at the plate to lead off the inning with the top of the order in the on-deck circle. Swung on. This is going to be foul up over our heads, and we stay at 3-2. Pitch on the way, and Bay will have a high crank into center field as the center fielder comes over or puts a glove on it, and it's 1 out to start the inning.
Number 3, Brendan Hill.
Top of the order now for the Mavericks as Brendan Hill comes to the plate. Hill settling in. Ground out his first at-bat, struck out his second. Here's the pitch. And Hill sends this one into center field. Center fielder tracks it down, and the Mavericks have 2 away now.
Number 7, Dane Frazier.
As we come to Dane Frazier. Frazier to settle in. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch, and a roller bounce to the shortstop. Frazier will get on it, the throw to first, and it's 1, 2, 3 for the Mavericks in the bottom of the third. Spuds get to bat next on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Advertising on the web can be intimidating. Where do you start? What is the most effective way to reach the audience you are targeting? Milk Crate Media can help you reach your audience, whether it is social media marketing or creating a unique commercial for streaming or for radio advertising. Milk Crate Media can help you build a new website or rebuild your existing website that will bring users back again and again. Visit www.mcratemedia.com today. Milk Crate Media is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports in Missoula and the surrounding valley.
Hey, are you gonna try out that new gym? I hear it's really cheap.
Not a chance. They don't have group exercise classes with awesome instructors like we get at Fuel. And the owners are in New York City. What?
New York City!
Mm-hmm. The New York way is not the Montana way, so no way.
Fuel Fitness and Nutrition, your Montana born and bred fitness chain. And unlike the others, we never close.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from Missoula Prep Sports Network. Top of the 4th inning. Mavericks lead 7-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard with Wade Visker, the second baseman, to lead it off for the Spuds. It's Parker Stevens on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound as he'll have the stretch and set for the first pitch and delivers low for ball 1. So Visker, the number 3 spot batter, puts Caden Vasquez on deck, and the number 5 spot batter, Malik Hathaway, in the hole as Visker will slice for strike 1, 1-1 on the count. Here's the pitch. And it's a low pitch. It's actually going to be a strike as Voorhees will lift his fist on the call. Pitch on the way and swung on. This is into center field. Hill will run up on it, dives and keeps it in the glove. Brendan Hill, the center fielder, with the out to start the inning.
Number 9,
Caden Vasquez now for Central Washington, the first baseman, with 1 out, nobody on. Central Washington searching for their first hit of the game as this one's going to be rolled out to Stuart Long. Long will get it on the bounce, the throw to first, and Hangus not able to control it, and the runner's going to reach off of the air. So a base runner for the Spuds as Malik Hathaway comes to the plate with 1 out. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and it's outside for ball one. And the pitch by Stevens, and this one's high, shallow, down the third base line. 3 of them are there, but it'll be Bridger Johnson to put it in the glove for out number 2. That'll bring up Bradley Greer with 2 outs. So Greer settles in with 2 outs and Caden Vasquez at first. Here's the pitch, and it'll come in for strike 1 by Klein Voorhees. Klein Voorhees at the plate with Mike Hughes in the field. Next game is scheduled for 7:30. It's the Mavericks hosting Centralia, Washington. So back-to-back Washington teams for the Mavericks here on the doubleheader. 1-1 on the count to Greer as he's going to knock this one to Hangus, and Hango will step on the bag to finish out the side. Runner left behind. We go to the bottom of the 4th with the Mavericks leading 7-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Back after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
MPSN is back to live stream the Montana Legion Baseball AA and State A tournaments this summer. Join us live from Billings, Montana for the State AA tournament and Florence, Montana for the State A tournaments, July 27th through the 31st for all the play-by-play action of every game. If you know of a local business in your community that would like to sponsor the coverage of the games on MPSN, please send us an email. MPSN. Legion Baseball's home for the 2019 Montana State Legion Baseball Tournaments.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 55 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
Welcome back to MPSN. It looks like we are possibly going to have a change on the field. We'll hold for a moment. All right, so 5 for 15. So it will be Zach Elizalde in for Greer. And the second and third baseman are the change defensively for Elizalde. It's Trad Richardson to lead off for the Mavericks here in the bottom of the 4th. And I think there was a couple other changes, but we're going to pick those up as the inning plays on. Andrew Fry on the 5 Valley pitcher's mound with the pitch, and it'll be outside for strike 1 over the plate. Trying to figure out the zone. Here's Fry with the pitch, and Richardson's going to crank this one foul to make it 0-2 on the count. Richardson singled his first at-bat and then hit by a pitch his last at-bat. He'll settle in. Pitch on the way. Upstairs to bring up ball 1, 1-2 on the count. So Richardson to lead off. Stuart Long in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks and Bridger Johnson in the hole. That makes 3, 4, 5 on the order. Pitch brings up ball 2 to make it an even count at 2 apiece. Here's the pitch. And Richardson check swings it off the bat, foul. We'll stay at 2-2. Seen some crazy things happen with check swings. Pitch on the way. And a foul, a high shot that will plop down shallow in right field to put Richardson on for the Mavericks to start the inning. Brings up Stuart Long now for the Mavericks. Long settling in. And now the pitch by Fry. And it'll be ball 1 to Long. So Long, a fly out his first plate appearance and singled his last, so he's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch by Fry. And the throw to first is actually made, and it gets away. They're going to go ahead and bring Richard around to third as it's going to roll deep into the bullpen down the first base line, and Richardson stands at third. Off the air. So 3-2 is what we've got on the count as Stewie sends this one in. This is a bouncer into right field. Richardson will step on the plate as Long is around the corner at second and stands up at third. Stuart Long with a triple to earn a run.
Number 10, Bridger Johnson.
And we go to Bridger Johnson now for the Mavericks, with Stuart Long at third and no outs. And here's Johnson to rip one down the third base line deep. Stewie will come home, and the Mavericks now lead 9-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard.
Number 5, Drew Stensrud.
Brings up Drew Stensrud, the designated hitter for the Mavericks, with no outs and a runner at first in Bridger Johnson. Here's the pitch, and we'll bring up ball 1 by Fry. So with Stensrud at the plate, it puts Hangus in the on-deck circle as Stensrud will bounce this one down the first base line. Foul for a 1-1 count. The stretch and set by Fry. And it's outside. They're going to call that one a strike. Okay. So 1-2. That's the thing about Voorhees, is you got to stay on your toes to see where he's going to be calling those balls and strikes. Here's the 1-2 by Fry. And it'll bring up strike 3.
Number 11, Zach Hangus.
Brings us to Zach Hangus with 1 out. And Johnson at first. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Hangus will bounce this one in. Second baseman will get it on the odd bounce. The throw to second, and they will punch out Johnson on the fielder's choice as Hango will reach for the Mavericks, and that's
Number
2
14,
outs now.
Andrew Lawson.
So we've got Andrew Clausen, the catcher, at the plate for the Mavericks with 2 outs, and Hangus at first. Here's the pitch by Fry. And swung on for strike 1. Two outs. And Clausen bounces this one out. Shortstop gets to it. The throw to first is rocketed over and just ahead of Clausen. That'll end the side. The Mavericks earn 2, leave 1 behind, and they lead 9-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Top of the 5th right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
If you're looking to upgrade your car, stop by Five Valley Auto Sales. From the moment you walk through the door, you'll be in for the best car buying experience ever. From their large inventory to their experienced staff, Five Valley Auto Sales is committed to helping you find the right car for you. View their featured vehicles online at www.5valleyautosales.com or stop by their location at 3300 South Reserve Street in Missoula. Five Valley Auto Sales is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on MPSN.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Top of the 5th inning where the Central Washington Spuds have some work to do. They're down 9-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard to the Mavericks. For the tournament, it is an 8-run rule that takes effect after the 5th or in the 5th inning. Parker Stevens standing on the Five Valley pitcher's mound to face Jet Nelson, the first batter of the inning. And a line drive into Stewie's glove will be out number 1.
0-0, Carson Carlos.
Brings us to the designated hitter, Carson Carlos, for the Spuds with 1 out and nobody on. Spuds searching for 2 runs here in the 5th to extend this game, and Carson Carlos will foul off for strike 1. Carlos fly out his first at bat. 1 out, nobody on. Here's the 0-1 by Stevens. And it's swung on for strike 2. 0-2. Stevens with the pitch. And it's a strikeout as Voorhees will rip the phone book
Number 7, Cam Kuykendall.
For out number 2. Bottom of the order, Camden Kuykendall at the plate for the Spuds with 2 outs and nobody on. Top of the 5th. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and Klein will say ball 1. 1-0 on the count. Here's the pitch, and back outside for ball 2. For Kuykendall, it was a ground out his first at bat. The fate of the Spuds on the game in the bat of Kuykendall as it's delivered in for ball 3, and it's 3-0 on the count. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and Stevens will slide it over the plate, and Voorhees will raise his fist to make it 3-1. Here's the pitch by Stevens, and this one's sent. Hill will drive on it in the glove. No, it bounces off the glove, and Kuykendall will slam on the brakes at first. And Hill takes a moment before he gets up. Wanted to make sure he's not hurt, but that one might be more of the ego than the body. So a reach by Kuykendall extends the game for first base hit of the game for the Spuds with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and Voorhees barks out strike 1. It's Eben Carmona, top of the order for the Spuds. Here's the pitch, and it's upstairs for ball 1. 1-1 on the count. So Kuykendall will erase the no-no for Parker Stevens. Here's the pitch. And it's going to come off the bat awkwardly. Stewie says he's got it. Stuart Long wraps it up, and that is game, folks. The Mavericks get the win 9-0 over the Central Washington Spuds. The Spuds, 1 hit, no runs 4 errors and left 4 behind. The Mavericks, 9 runs off of 8 hits, 2 errors, and they left 5 behind. Final game of the day is at 7:30. It's the Mavericks and Centralia. We'll step aside when we come back, or we'll be back at 7:30 for the final game of the day.
Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of Missoula Sports.
What a rush!
MPSN's coverage of Missoula Sports is proudly powered by Fuel Fitness.
Always, always, always.
Tune in next time when the Missoula Prep Sports Network has coverage of your local sports heroes.